Forgive me if this is a little longer this morning, but I have a beautiful quote I want to share with you that I think you'll find meaningful. So God is like a grief counselor, huh? Wow, amazing. The world can be full of sorrow, right? Things happen. Terrible things can happen. And Jesus knew that full well. He knew better than anyone, right? A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, Isaiah 53:3 says. Isn't that the kind of God we need and the kind of God we desire? We don't have a God who cannot sympathize, empathize, walk in our shoes. He knows full well what the world is like. The world which is often a vale of tears. He's a God who knows what it's like to be human. Hebrews 4:15, he sympathizes with us in our weaknesses. So whatever darkness, God is with you in it. You know, I think of Peter who cries out to Jesus at one point and says, where do we turn? Where do we go? Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of life. And many people experience and know it, even these days and this day. Psalm 6:6, we can identify with the psalmist, can't we? We know, tears have been my pillow at night, the psalmist cries out. God understands that. Psalm 42:3, tears have been my food day and night. God knows that. God understands that. He knows about sadness and grief. He knows about terribleness and terror. He's lived through it all. And because of that, you and I can too. And we can then enter into the joy of the Father, not just in the next life, but here and now as well. So here and now, where even things that don't appear to be so good, and the opposite feels true despite appearances, they're still good. Everything is more than okay, actually. And you are too. And life can be too. So you're not just your body who's suffering in this world. C.S. Lewis said, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. And so Jesus shows us that in the end, everything really will be okay. Because even right here and right now, we're okay no matter what happens to us. And even in the midst of it, there can be a lot of okayness too. So God is like a grief counselor. We have this Emmanuel God who walks with us. We are never alone. He is the God of all comfort. Turn to him. Know his presence. We can. Find in his presence the balm of Gilead, the salve for your soul, your hurts, your pains, your depression, your anger, your sadness. There is one who understands, and there is no one who understands like God does. And that brings me incredible comfort when it's dark in here, within me, and out there. So a quote by John Stott, that's just amazing. I have to share it with you about suffering and about pain. He says, I could never myself believe in a God if it were not for the cross. The only God I believe in is the one Nietzsche ridiculed as the God of the cross. In the real world of pain, how could one worship a God who was immune to it? I have entered many Buddhist temples and stood respectfully before the statue of Buddha, his legs crossed, his arms folded, eyes closed, the ghost of a smile playing around his mouth, a remote look on his face, detached from the agonies of the world. But each time, after a while, I've had to turn away. And in imagination, I have turned instead to that lonely, twisted, tortured figure on the cross, nails through his hands and feet, back lacerated, limbs wrenched, brow bleeding from thorn pricks, mouth dry and intolerably thirsty, plunged into God-forsaken darkness. That is the God for me. he says. He laid aside his immunity to pain. He entered our world of flesh and blood, tears and death. He suffered for us. Our sufferings become more manageable in light of his. There is still a question mark against human suffering, but over it, we boldly stamp another mark, the cross, which symbolizes divine justification, God's only self-justification in a world such as ours. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? And then we have in Jesus who says, take heart. In this world you have trouble, but take heart, be of good cheer. I have overcome. So there is the cross, and there is resurrection in our lives, in the here and now, and the there and then. There is pain and darkness and sorrow and grief, but there is hope, light, and resurrection always and in always. So may you know the God of all comfort today, the God of all counsel, the Father of all mercy. He comes alongside us when we go through hard times, and before you know it, he brings us alongside others to comfort them too. We can be there for that person just as God is there for us. And we have plenty of hard times, and we will. But no more so than the good times of his healing comfort. And we get a full measure of that too. So a full measure of healing comfort to you this day. May you know and experience and take comfort in that today, and in the God of all comfort, our wonderful grief counselor. Until next time, God's love, joy, peace, comfort to you.